Welcome back. What do you have on my desk? We have this Lenovo. It's Lenovo S145-15 series. You know this kind of Lenovo? This one. The laptop was booked in as no power. Like usual, we're fixing mostly 80% of our jobs were fixing power issues on various kind of electronic devices. So this one came in as no power. The laptop is not turning on. This is a dead laptop. So we don't want to waste time. Let's jump into it. Plug in the power supply. It's taking 11 milliamps. If I'm to press the power on button, it's not doing anything. It's just dead. If I check here, we must have a charging light. It's not charging. So that is my problem. 11 milliamps. I don't think we have a shorted motherboard with 11 milliamps. Can be a frozen E.C chip, can be a BIOS. What else did I found on this model based on experience? I found the MOSFETs were not driving the 19 volts. Yeah, some screws they are missing. We don't have enough screws on this one. Let's try to take out the back cover. I fixed the so many kind of this motherboard, so we should not take too much time because already we know this motherboard. What I would do first, I'll check, because here we have the charging port, we have the first MOSFET, second MOSFET, the current sensor. I want to check if this motherboard has some power on it, or if the 19 volts is passing through those input MOSFET. Here we have 19 on the current sensor. We do have 19 on coils. 0, 1 volt. On this one, 7.8. That's the battery voltage. Here we have nothing. So the 19 volts is okay. So our input MOSFETs, they are working. They are driving 19 volts into the motherboard. What about 3.3? We do have 3.29. This is the keyboard. So we have 19, we have 3.3. Why this motherboard is not working? Let's take out the main battery. Let's disconnect the power supply, taking out the main battery. Let's take out this BIOS battery. Let's short some pins on the BIOS battery for a while. BIOS battery connector. That should be enough. Let's plug back the BIOS. Let's plug back the main battery. Let's connect, and it's taking 500. The fan just spin. So that was a frozen E.C chip. We took out the main battery, so it will restart several times. The motherboard, I can see some LED, and we have picture. It's loading. So that was the repair. This is a common fault on this kind of laptops. The laptop is on. Everything The keyboard, the backspace is not responding, but we can delete. So everything is working fine, and this battery seems to be fully charged. Even if we take out the power supply, the laptop is not turning off. Uh, let's power off the laptop. Let's power off the laptop. Let's connect the power supply. It's taking 11 milliamps because this battery is fully charged. So that is the reason why this laptop is not taking too much current. This is just a standby current. Pressing the power on. Maybe on. And the laptop is dead. Huh? Why the laptop is dead? What do you think is the reason why this laptop is dead? The fact that the laptop came on, it means the motherboard is good. So what I want to check the voltage on the BIOS battery. 3.13. 7.8. So the laptop just decided to not to start. Let's disconnect the main battery. Uh, let's power on without connecting the main battery. On. So this laptop just worked once. And that was the end of the story. Okay. Let's disconnect the BIOS battery. Let's plug the main battery. Let's plug. So without the BIOS battery, indeed the laptop is coming on. So what is the fault? Hmm? What is the fault now? What do you think is the fault? So the laptop is on. If you check here on the battery side, this laptop is fully charged. So what I would do, let's try to power off this laptop. We must be in a position to power it off. Shut down. Let's shut down the laptop. They are still on. You can see the current is still in the process of closing all the application and shutting down. Um, Let's wait. Yeah, now the laptop is off. Let's power on the laptop. On, and the laptop is not responding. So what's the story here? Why the laptop is coming on and goes off at its own time? Because if the battery is fully charged, the laptop has to come on. Now I'm pressing, it's not coming on. What about with a tweezer? Maybe we have a fault keyboard. Pin 2 to ground and it's on. So here we have a, most likely we have a fault keyboard. Most likely we have a fault keyboard. But what I want to do, I want to check something on this panel. So on the keyboard. So here our story is the switch button. And the switch button is on the keyboard. How are we gonna solve this? How can we trick this switch button? Well, something's wrong with the switch button. Something's wrong here. Uh, Let me use some little bit of alcohol and clean this. Yeah, the power is the battery is disconnected. So here I'm just cleaning, because in most cases if there's dust, that can be the reason. Let's connect back the battery. on. No, it's not working. But if I short pin number 2 to ground, the motherboard is coming on. If I short second pin to ground, the laptop is coming on. So you have a faulty switch. Here we have a panel here. We have the reset button here. We can run a wire here to this reset button, and then when the customer wants to use the laptop, you press the reset button. I want to check something on this button. The motherboard is still on. I want to check do you have any voltage there. Maybe we can do something which many people they don't like. Shortcuts. We can't do that. What about on the button? Do you have any voltage? Well, there must be a reason why this button in specific is not working. The laptop is on. Here we must have 3.3. And I can't see the voltage. Oh, this is a kind of job when you start to get confused whether because I have I think I have these covers just for testing. Let me look because we want to make sure whether there's missing voltage or is the keyboard by itself. So let me bring another similar keyboard and then we test. So yeah, it's now close to 20 minutes later. I paused the video because I wanted to look specifically this casing, but what I found is different. I found this one, and you know where is the difference? The difference is here. If we check here, we have any independent switch. Here's the switch button, which is not on the keyboard, and if we turn around, it's on this panel. That's what I found. And on our problem, the switch is not on this panel, is directly on the far corner of this keyboard, and we don't have this keyboard. That is the most challenging thing. But the owner of this laptop is a student, so I phoned him. I talked that we don't have the keyboard. Your issue here is the switch button on the keyboard. He said, I have a very urgent project that need to be submitted tomorrow. So do whatever you can just to make me to just to let the laptop turn on. So we're now doing whatever we can do here. What I would do, because if we short second pin to ground, the motherboard is turning on. So what I would do, I'll run a wire here from this second pin. The other wire will solder it on the ground, and we can use any switch like these switches, or even the switch for the TV boards. You see, all these are switches. We can use this switch, but I know that's dodgy. But at the moment, that's what we have. So here we can drill a small, nice hole just for the customer to get access to the switch. We'll put it on this side. I think that can work. Let's try it. Let's go on a microscope. Microscope. We want to pay attention to the keyboard connector. That's the keyboard connector. So our attention on the keyboard connector is the second pin. We have this pin, so I'll stick one probe on the second pin, which is here, and we'll try to see where this pin is going. It's beeping here. It's beeping here. So this is a good test point. All right, this is a good test point. That's a good test point here. Now we're now doing whatever we can just to let this motherboard on. We have two test points. We can choose one. What I would do. So what I've done here, I just soldered two wires. The one on the plus, because the second pin is coming here to this test point, and the other one on the ground. And close we have the E chip. So we have to insulate these wires just to protect this motherboard, because if anything short on this EC chip, we ended up having a very big problem. You know the story. So we don't want to end up having problems. So we're gonna insulate here. Good. Let's go on the bench. Here, let's put back this on its original position. This has to work. Because the thing is, all other keys on the keyboard, they are responding except the power on button. And don't tell me that uh, you replace the whole keyboard because of one button. Uh, let's test our button on. Our button is working. You see, the laptop is off. Now the laptop is on. It's loading Windows. Now I will do long press because I want to shut down the laptop. Long press. The laptop is off. So our button is working. This is a switch from a TV board. So I'll disconnect the main battery. Now we need to do that thing. You know that thing when we want to do shortcuts. Where's the frame? So we're gonna cut this plastic just nicely. We should do this thing nice so that the customer won't doubt on whatever that we'll be doing. Because don't tell me that he will replace the whole keyboard because of one button. If there's any smart method of doing this, or any option, or to use the reset button, or the to use the wall sensor, if anyone has a better way of doing this, just let me know. Let me know if there's anyone who has a better way of doing this kind of repair. Now we need we want glue again. Let's insulate these wires. So here, this wire, I think we just made a nice connection here. All what we need to do is to put more glue. More glue. So let's wait for the glue to dry up and then we test. But already we tested everything. Everything seems to be fine. What about the frame? What about the frame? On the frame, it has to close. It has to close. So how you are going to do this kind of job? You know, I'm being honest. At least I've done something which is going to leave a lot of bad comments, but at least the customer can, can still use the laptop temporarily. Even if we found the keyboard, we just replace the keyboard and close. This is a small incision that we've done here. Doesn't have any effect to the customer's laptop. The frame is closed. Here we need to put back that key, that button. That's all what we have to do. Yeah, we're done. We're done. Pressing the power on. Now the power on is no longer on the keyboard. It's now here. That is our power button. Pressing the power on button. The laptop is coming on. And It's obvious it's loading Windows. So we have fixed the laptop. Even if the customer wants to use it like this forever, still he can use the laptop. You can still use the laptop. Press enter. All the keys, you see all the keys, they are responding. They are responding. But the power on button is faulty. So here we can't do anything unless if we change the whole keyboard, which I don't have. So we just improvise. If I do long press here, the laptop has to come off. The laptop is off, on. The laptop is coming on. So yeah, I have done my party. I know this video is going to leave a lot of negative comments, but at least I helped the customer. So let me know what you think, or what you wish to add. Yeah, sometimes you have to do dodgy repairs. This situation will force you to do such kind of repairs because the customer is giving you pressure. We explain to the customer, don't have the keyboard. He persists giving you pressure. I want to work on that laptop where there's an urgent project. Yeah, that's the only way that we can do. At least we help you. So see you on the next one. Bye bye.